set?
Yep.
All right, what time is it? 4:15. All right, I'd like to call the meeting to order. It's 4:15, Wednesday, August 21st. This is the Community Development Advisory Committee. I'd just like to let everybody know that this meeting is being recorded by our local broadcasts and is also on Zoom. So I'd like to ask if anybody else is recording this meeting, please make us aware. All right, here. All right, we have no review of previous minutes because we still don't have them, but we're putting it together, I guess. And then, so we can jump right into the master plan to get this meeting kicked off. We have our guests here, so.
Does anyone remember Victoria?
Well, just introduce yourself for
We had
the,
the
for the
pleasure.
audience. And
All right, perfect. Yeah, my name is Victoria Chavez. I work with CMRPC, and I'm helping along with you guys working with the master plan, with the main focus with economic development and also public services and facilities. So you'll be seeing my face once again pretty soon.
Rich, do you have, perchance, the meeting materials on the Dropbox?
the
to share?
Dropbox, yeah,
How do I get to
because
that?
it's all in the Dropbox.
The fastest place to get to it is if you Google WarrenMasterPlan.com. And we could go that way. But yeah, we have one little language difference to look at for the vision statement. And then we can swing right into economic development. Similar to last month, this is kind of like making sure we're on the right track before we start writing the chapter. So this is everything's up for discussion, if this works for Warren, if this doesn't work for Warren, if there's a topic you want us to go deeper into, if there's something that we shouldn't write about at all. Now's the time before Victoria and I start clickety-clacking.
All right.
All right, so where am I going?
Perfect. So it should be under August. They're not in order. It was just frustrating.
All right, I want to just download
Perfect.
this.
Yeah. Oh.
Cool. So the one thing we weren't sure about in the vision statement was, ironically, the part about economic development. So I gave us a few versions to look at and give us some inspiration on what it could be.
Let me do this. Oh, I need to be able to share. Hold on a minute.
Yeah, you got to share it. So many things to remember.
It's not,
That in here.
well, let me see. It just says one at a time. Why is that? I can't share.
Let me,
They're locked by my admin.
do you want me to
It's
mess
locked.
with it?
Yeah, because we need to be able to share this.
I should still be able to share them.
Okay. So let's just Google it on here then.
Okay. Oh, you want Warren Master Plan?
All right, thank you.
Yeah, there it is. And then down document library. And then August. Yep.
Hooray!
We're on a minor delay here for technical difficulties.
All right.
We'll get there.
Are you the
Yep.
play-by-play announcer?
We're making it
In a
happen.
rain delay?
We're a rain delay right now.
Oh, rain's over.
Okay.
It's clearing up. They're
Clearing up.
uncovering the
Okay.
field. We're ready to play ball. Okay.
Yay!
Now we're sharing.
No, I turned video off on this. I have no idea if that, no, that shouldn't matter.
No, it shouldn't.
Okay. There we go.
All right.
Cool. So the part in yellow is the only difference between the three versions.
Okay.
Can you blow that up?
Yeah, can we enhance that?
People that can't see beyond their nose. That's me, by the way. To make sure that nobody took that wrong.
Is this big enough for you?
Nothing's changed. I feel
I
like
can read it, but you can't.
I had
know.
my exam too. The other
Oh.
day.
Did you pass?
I did.
Yeah, on both
I have to
screens.
dual.
Oh, he's on. Yeah, you're on both.
Where's zoom on this thing?
Extra
It's on the
points
top,
for
it
each
looks
day.
like.
Oh yeah, up top.
Is it? Well, view. Zoom.
There we go.
There we go.
We got it.
Okay. I can definitely see that.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Business ventures located. So the difference in these visions are just what's highlighted.
Correct.
Okay.
So you're looking for better wording, or?
Yeah, last month that was the one sentence. I could look up what it was originally. That just didn't feel the best.
Blend its rich.
I don't know about the word ripe. It's kind of a casual word, right? Environment.
For right new business ventures.
Ready for exciting new
You
ventures?
said there was a third option?
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
It's just scrolling down.
Can you scroll down?
Okay. Road conditions. An optimal climate for innovation. That's kind of neat. I like that third one.
The third one?
Yeah. Alright. Is that, either that or we need to come up with something
I'll go
new,
with
is
three.
what you're saying?
What?
So what you're saying is we either need to choose one of those options or
too.
come up with something else right now.
Ooh, how about this
Put
one?
us on the spot. What do you got?
What's Rich got?
This is ChatGPT. Fostering a climate ideal for launching new business ventures.
I like it.
That's neat.
I like it.
the way that sounds.
It's kind of a combination of version 1 and version 3
Version
together.
3, exactly.
Fostering a climate that's ideal for new business ventures.
Or opportunities.
Fostering a climate ideal for launching new
Launch.
business ventures.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I could even do, so we could see it.
Is that?
You can make that.
Yeah.
Can we
Yeah.
type
Ooh.
it in on one of those?
Whoa.
Look at this.
Just to see if it vibes.
Wait, no, you're in the wrong spot.
In the third one?
No, I did the first one.
I'll just delete the other two.
Pressure's
Oh, I see, they're all the same.
They're all the same.
Was it really overwhelming to see them
It
all
was
at
too
once?
much for him.
Yeah. I thought there were 3 paragraphs with 3 different things that needed to be
Oof,
changed.
that's too much. So,
All right.
what's that?
All right, so
All right.
we
So
got
where
that.
are we?
I got it.
Oh,
Yes.
we're back
Oh.
up.
I want to highlight it and
All
write it
right,
in.
where are we here?
Ideal. There it is.
Oh, we're right here, right?
Exploration, fostering a climate that's ideal for launching new business ventures.
I like it.
Yeah.
With the focus
It's a
on
good
new
combination.
business ventures.
Yeah. I like that.
I like
Okay.
it.
Cool.
Yeah.
So are we set with the vision statement?
I think so.
we are.
Hooray!
All right. Success.
I'll put it on the website.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Official. Cool. With that, I'll hand it over to Victoria to talk about economic development. Perfect.
Okay.
All right. So with these key findings, what we wanted to identify is really what was going on with public engagement with Warren residents when we did interviews with town staff and town volunteers, and and the survey as well. So kind of bring that all together and see if there's any similarities, anything that's contrasting, or something that should be bring into light. So each of these that we point out here are specifically about issues or opportunity for economic development in Warren. And so this is something that we're all going to be discussing about. Do you agree with this? Is this something we should dig deeper in? Is there certain avenues or people that we should be reaching out to as well? So if we scroll down to the state sustainable development principles,
Can we see that?
Yeah, can we share that too?
Oh, yeah, it's on the same document.
So you just gotta
Just
scroll
keep
down.
Oh, can you scroll
Scrolling
down?
down.
Please.
Yeah. I'm like,
Which one's which? Double screens.
I know.
Poor Rich.
I know. He came back
I
with
wouldn't even get
this.
to this far. Rich is just.
Yeah, he's,
All right,
all
perfect.
right.
Okay.
So the state sustainable development principles is something that we even brought up our last meeting. They talk about all the elements pretty much with the Commonwealth. The one that I highlighted here is number 8, which is increased job and business opportunities. This is to attract businesses and jobs to locations near housing, infrastructure, and transportation options. Promote economic development in industry clusters, expand access to education, training, and entrepreneurial opportunities. Support the growth of local businesses, including sustainable, natural resource-based businesses such as agricultural, forestry, clean energy technology, and fishery. So this is all something that we just need to keep in mind as we're going on with our key findings. And then we're going to scroll down a little bit more. We have the state law in here. Just wanted to highlight about economic development. And then
Oops.
Whoa.
we're going to go on to our map.
There's the law.
The law.
And then
There's,
you might want to zoom out for this one, just to
Okay.
see the zoning map. Might
Yep,
need
okay.
to
Let
load.
me,
Sad.
What happened to that?
Oh.
that doesn't
This
look
is
good.
trivia.
Okay.
How
so
well
we
do you
get
know
to-
Warren?
Where is Warren?
Yeah.
Where in these circles are Warren?
Is it all of Warren or just?
So yeah, so
Oh,
what
so-
we have
There we
here,
go.
if you can see on my
Oh,
screen,
It works better over here. On the shared version. Oh, but you guys can't see that.
oh, you have it printed out right there, perfect.
Yeah, right there, okay. Well, we can't see it up there, but I got it on his computer now.
Perfect.
Can you see it in the Zoom tab?
Yep, Zoom can see it. It's just.
Yeah.
But if you click on the Zoom tab on the other one,
Oh, got it.
and you can see this.
There it is.
Perfect, nice.
Wow, my brain's gonna fry.
So what I really just wanted to highlight here is areas that are known for commercial. We already have it kind of set on there, but also have a little mix of village center as well. And then also, if we're going more south, we have in that area, it's mostly rural or residential. So could these be possible areas that we can expand on commercial, expand on industrial types of improvement? I want to know more on your guys' ideas. Is there issues with water or sewer? Is there issues with connections, networks, anything like that? Or what opportunities you might see?
So you're saying the circles are, you're asking if there's area of opportunity there, correct?
Exactly.
And I'm trying to see where those circles are.
Yeah, the West Warren one for sure. I know there's the sewer and water, everything's there for most of it. Some of it would have to be expanded, but for obviously for businesses and whatnot, wouldn't be a bad thing. I think the lower circle, which highlights around where the turnpike service entrance is, I know there is, that's the end of the town water and sewer right there. But again, that's obviously just a service entrance on the Mass Pike, not an access point for regular residents or commercial vehicles, so. That would be nice in the future if we had a exit off the Mass Pike. That area would explode. But until then, I think the other two areas are probably a little more.
And where's the third one?
See, it's kind of just on the south side of downtown, behind Cummings Pond, kind of.
Where the summit?
No, across the way from that, on the other side of Southbridge Road.
Well, it's where Southbridge and Bemis.
Bemis and Washington
Park.
Street
Yeah,
all come
got it,
together.
got it.
I think it's what, like Tyler Park or something is
Yeah.
up.
Water tank.
Yeah, where the water tank is, that's a
Yeah.
big facility up there. I don't know that there's necessarily room for growth there because it's all housing
Yeah, it's all
and
residential.
that's all residential, so.
On the same, is it the same by the second one, by the pike, right there?
Well, I mean, no, there's room there for growth as far as commercial, that area, it's just there's nothing that identifies that space as like an ideal space. If there was access to the turnpike, then
Yes.
that would obviously change everything. I think that whole area would just take off. But unfortunately, without that access, you're not promoting very much for businesses to go there, except to look at the
But
turnpike
isn't
as
it-
everyone drives by.
Isn't it zoned for rural, and would that have to change the
Yeah,
zoning?
you'd have to
Exactly.
change the zoning
Right.
on it.
Yeah. So that's why we're bringing this up, since this area has come up in other meetings and it came up at the workshop, chicken and egg.
Yeah.
If we develop it before we
We
get an exit.
open it up
Yeah.
before we get access to that road, would that be a good move?
Mm-hmm.
Would it help promote the idea of the entrance of the highway right there? If they knew, hey, this area is open for development, this would be a great place to have it's a central location between the two existing exits,
Mm-hmm.
between Sturbridge and Palmer. It's almost exactly halfway between the two. So, yeah, I mean, ideal, but right now it's just residential.
And there's opportunity for another exit, not there maybe, in the Brimfield side.
Yeah, right at the Brimfield,
Yes.
Warren line.
Right, that's where I was.
So
thinking.
that's the special, zoned commercial over there.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
I believe there was the ability for access to the
Right.
pike from there. But they had talked about whatever commercial development happens would have to pay for the access.
Right, that would be a big opportunity, because you're gonna go into all of.
Because
Mr.
originally when they
Callahan's
were-
land.
Yeah.
Are we looking,
So,
Yeah, just
To the west side,
overlay.
southwest
overlay?
side of the
Perfect.
town.
Because the circle by the one we have now in the lower half is more, all residential houses in there right now, so, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure there's much land for development. But I know if you go further down, there was talk of it, that's where the pipe would come off there if they ever did it, because
Okay.
near the land that could be developed.
Yeah, near Gilbert Road.
Near Gilbert Road, right.
It's a relatively steep incline to go down to the pike there, but they would build out
Oh, God,
ramps
yeah.
and everything. That would be nothing.
That's where I
so,
would,
to catch you up, at the planning board meeting, Mr. Callahan came in and is looking to build an equestrian facility.
Is that what it is now?
Yep. Down, basically down here.
Yeah, right in that area. Yep.
He said he was gonna use the entire plot of land, I'm not sure.
Whoa,
That's
that's
a lot,
huge.
1,500 acres.
now where is
But
that?
basically, the main part, I think would be
Yeah.
right in here.
Yep. Because originally they were talking about building like a national drag strip and a bunch of other things came up. That was the location of it, right there.
So one of the problems is how do you get to this? If you
Yeah.
build something here, how do you get to it? He was talking, so Brook Road is here.
Yep.
And then what is this
New
piece
Reed
called?
Street.
Oh, New Reed Street, right.
Yeah,
And that dumps you to Gilbert.
Um,
And that's Gilbert where it
So-
goes up the hill and then across the turnpike is Gilbert.
So this would all have to be improved. I mean,
Correct.
Brook is in decent shape.
Brook
but-
is fine, that
but
would
New
need
Reed-
surface work, but New Reed Street would need to be completely rebuilt.
Mhm.
So
Oh,
that,
yeah.
it's a relatively large road, it just is not designed to handle a lot of traffic. So,
Does sewer and water run down South Street?
they do, they run as far as the elementary school, which is not too far from that intersection.
So roughly about like
Right,
here,
yes,
probably.
right about there is where
Water
sewer.
goes down, there's a hydrant at Reach.
At Reed Street, yeah, I think that's
Oh,
where,
okay,
so
so
water
water-
goes all the way to Reed, but the sewer, I think, stops
Yeah.
So
at the
could we,
elementary.
yeah, could we get sewer and water over to here?
Absolutely.
They were talking
Only
about.
costs money,
Yeah, well, they're
So-
putting it in.
yeah.
So they wanted to do wells and septic, but
Wow.
the more I think about it, if it's gonna be a big enough facility, it would be better to do sewer.
absolutely.
Yes.
We have the capacity, we're only at
Okay.
like 10% at the
Okay.
sewer plant.
Well, and the other option in this is if he's talking about developing that whole area, you can run sewer right back down Gilbert, which
Yeah.
brings you right to the plant,
Yeah,
so.
So that's right off of Gilbert Road, that circle that you were
Yes.
talking, that's
Yeah.
breaking news here.
yep,
Well,
this
that's
is
Smith
Gilbert right
Road
here.
that
Where's
runs
Gilbert now?
behind it.
This is
right
Gilbert
there
that goes
where he's
north-south.
Okay,
And then there's a branch
This is
off of it,
Smith.
Smith Road right
Yeah.
there.
But
Yeah.
it's kind of what do you call that,
Yeah,
decommissioned? or-
yes, it's no longer a town maintained right away.
Yeah, we gave it to them but like
Yeah. They maintain
15
it.
years ago.
Callahan maintains that.
Callahan? Okay.
so What kind of, did they talk about how much travel, people, how many people it would attract this?
It would be huge.
I think their stadium thing for
It's
horse racing would
professional.
be 2,000 people.
Yeah, it'd be big.
Plus, it's gonna be a gaming facility, so there would be people there every day.
Yeah. Yeah, and you,
Video or telegaming or whatever the heck
Yep.
it's called.
okay.
So, plus they'd have horse facilities, so retirement, training,
Yeah.
boarding.
And horse facilities is big money,
Mm,
big
mhm.
money.
That's, yeah, that
That
changes
would
the
be
game,
a
that changes a
really
lot of
nice
things we're
thing to
discussing.
go in there. That'd be huge.
So the problem is, I don't know if do you put this in the master plan, because this may fall apart in a year, right? I mean, it may not work out, or it may go forwards. I don't know
Yeah.
how you,
Either way, we could talk about expanding water and sewer, even open to partnerships for expanding water and sewer if
Yes.
it would be a private-public partnership, rather
Yeah.
than the town taking that cost. And we could talk about the road that you mentioned to kind of prepare for anything,
Okay.
if that sounds good.
Well,
So we'd come at
yeah.
it from an infrastructure point of view.
New,
'Cause the zoning's
essentially,
there.
New Reed, Gilbert, and maybe even Santos in this case, they
Mm-hmm.
would all have to be completely rebuilt to handle anything close to that. Because right now, they're very rural country back roads.
is this Santos?
No.
Or is Santos?
Yes, that's Santos that cuts across the South Street, yep, right there.
Okay.
Or blocked off completely, so you just make two entrances and
Well, you need to have access from a
Maybe.
lot of ways.
Yeah, I
You don't
know.
wanna isolate them.
I mean, you could make it a one-way. I don't know.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know.
You talk about how many events they were,
I
No, I
don't remember a number, honestly.
No, I'm just talking, I know, this
Maybe
is a game
That's-
changer.
A
That's, yeah.
dozen or something.
Oh, yeah, it'd be big.
A dozen,
I'm
big
sure,
ones,
yeah.
plus just the.
They probably
daily.
have a huge indoor facility. A lot of those places have
Jobs.
big indoor arenas too.
Yeah.
So they can run series in the winter.
Not school-aged
Yeah.
children, that's good for us.
Was this
yeah.
brought up, you said the last planning board meeting,
Yeah, the one on Monday.
Monday?
Is that-
Okay, perfect, so I'll look into that.
Yeah,
Excellent.
If you want, it's online.
On YouTube, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, so if you want to review it.
Perfect. All right,
Awesome.
great notes. I'll keep those in mind as well. So let's scroll on down.
and that takes a big chunk of our possible development too, just, for
Right
your
there.
reference.
Exactly.
Or maybe even could encourage more of what's left.
Well, that's it. If you
Yeah.
bring that in, other stuff will follow.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Once there's money and people here, more businesses follow money.
And
people.
Sturbridge has already turned that down, correct? They want something similar?
Well, and this is a different
Different
developer
venue? Okay,
than went
okay.
to Sturbridge, that went to Hardwick,
Yeah.
that went somewhere else.
Yeah.
Gardner,
And
that
nobody
was
wa-
all the same person. This is
Okay.
a different,
This is completely different.
Yeah.
than
Different,
that.
different person, okay.
yeah.
That's actually good to hear.
All right. So going on to here, it's stuff that I assume you guys might be more familiar with. I just wanted to re-highlight it on here is pretty much our zoning bylaw codes for certain districts with the focus with commercial, village, and the mill overlay as well as the major development overlay district. What I kind of wanted to highlight on here as we're reviewing these is the process to approval becoming too difficult? Is that making it harder for people to bring businesses over here? Is it making it harder to expand or anything like that? So, with your guys' expertise on it, especially seeing it on the other side, has people complained to you on certain aspects?
Well, so we did get rid of auto auction and auto junkyards, so. But I don't
know if
I
that
don't know
would
that we-
really cross into this
Yeah, I don't think nothing else has been restricted.
restricted, no.
No, just the one issue on 19, that was the only big,
Yeah, but that was the auto.
Yeah.
And how's the process of being approved? Does that usually take too long because of short staffing or,
Right now, there's no planning board secretary, so yeah, but,
That slows things down a bit.
yeah, yeah.
Come on, Rich, you need another job.
Yeah.
perfect. Thank you. Okay, perfect. And then, how do you guys feel with the mill conversion overlay district, actually? We can scroll down a little bit, and you might see it when we go down. A little bit more, here we are, perfect. So, I know what the whole purpose of this is to really encourage and preserve the historic mill. A lot of people in the workshops talked about like how there just needs to be something there. It's dead space. So do you think the overlay, the wording here, what is allowed, is open to that? Is there certain changes that needs to happen in certain languages? Is there anything that we need to take away or add to it?
It's pretty broad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is very
It is very broad.
I think it,
It's broad. But we like that it's broad,
It's too broad.
too broad.
No, I'm not speaking.
no, it's fine, I think it's fine.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
all right.
open, it allows.
I mean, the only real restriction is that the planning board could say yay or nay on a new building if it doesn't fit like the architectural, right?
Yeah.
It says historical context of the mill, keeping with the historical context of the mill.
Which I like, yeah.
So,
And of course, then there's a building in the middle of it all that doesn't fit at
No.
all.
But, all right, perfect. So we'll keep those in mind, along with the major development overlay as well. Same thing, do we feel that it kind of like the mill overlay district?
There's a little bit more on dimensional standards.
It does. Excuse me.
the only thing I don't like is consistent with Warren's small-town character. I don't, what does that even mean if you're gonna put a big development
Yeah,
there?
that
it's-
doesn't-
It's
you're
never
right.
gonna be small-town, so I,
Yeah, so why would
Is
it
that-
worry about it, you know, being consistent with the small town character if it's a development?
it's way over there. Right? Like, it's not,
Is this one where we say I can't see it from my house?
yeah.
Just so you know, I'm reading what that, because I can't see it.
That's fine, don't worry.
I can't see it. And what about the dimensional standard, the minimum tract size of
I was
25
kinda
acres?
surprised on that.
Yeah,
So they, whoever wrote this really wanted it to be a
yeah.
decent-sized
Big,
project, right?
Big project.
Yep.
Mhm.
Setbacks, no building, parking lots, and storage areas.
For my knowledge, in this area that the overlay's in, has there been businesses that came in to meet these standards and,
Nah,
No.
Nothing's been proposed in a long, long time, right?
Yeah,
No,
no.
not to my knowledge, no.
The eighties was that IT, like hazardous waste disposal thing.
Yep.
And that was soundly defeated by the citizens. So I think that's it. I mean, there was, you know, the casino. Well, actually, the casino, I think, was gonna be in Brimfield, right?
Brimfield.
Brimfield, yep.
Just south of that property, and I don't know what was gonna be in Warren, parking lot or
Yeah, part of
hotel
it.
or something.
I heard about that, yeah.
Yeah. I think it was the parking garage and something else.
Okay.
Was
Did
it-
we approve gaming though in the town? I thought we did.
Thought we did.
I don't recall gaming being,
Maybe we didn't.
I
We
don't
approved
recall.
marijuana, but not, maybe.
Not game. I don't remember.
I don't
So,
recall.
well, maybe that was the case, and Brimfield did,
Yeah,
so we could
that's
go-
probably why they put the gaming there and it just,
Yeah.
Gaming?
yeah.
I'll double check on that. All right. Perfect. Okay, let's scroll on down. And now we're gonna go into some of the key findings for economic development. All right, so yeah, current conditions. So what we found is in the commercial corridors, current conditions are underutilized with many vacant buildings. Many areas of focus is the town center, Wrights Mill, and West Warren Village. Businesses can apply for tax increment financing, TIF, in these areas. And then Wrights Mill has been a focal point for redevelopment discussions with potential for mixed-use, commercial, and residential projects. Before we move on, do we have anything to add with that, to take away?
No, because the tip was on.
I don't know if it goes in this document. I mean, one big problem with our town is our commercial zone is bordered by a river on the south. We
Yep.
lose half of our commercial zone, the entire length of it, well, from the two town centers.
Between the
basically.
two centers, yeah.
Yeah, which kind of stinks, because
Yeah.
there could be a lot that could be done, but
Yes.
we can't.
It was surprising to me that those aren't mixed use. Like the village
There was a
centers.
zone mixed use.
Yeah.
So what does that mean, though? What,
Because that's commercial, but then you have the two village centers on either side of it that are commercial and residential, right? But that one strip is only commercial. I didn't know if that was
oh,
on something that,
That, the reason
I
it
don't
was
know.
put for that instead of mixed use.
yeah.
I don't know.
No idea when they decided that.
So it's never come up.
No,
Okay.
That was Bill Scanlon, you remember Bill Scanlon? He
Yeah.
did that.
yeah.
I don't
I
know.
built it a lot.
All right.
Okay, so moving on to economic constraints. The town's small population and low income demographics pose challenges to attracting and sustaining new businesses. High economic leakage with most residents shopping and working outside of the town. Challenges with accessibility and infrastructure, such as no I-90 exit or public transportation. There's no dedicated committee for networking and driving economic development.
Maybe this is where the river comment goes.
Yeah,
Under this one, it's a constraint.
yeah. It is a constraint.
Our demographics are changing, which is not a good thing. Well, it's good and bad because we may get
For
less
fun.
grants,
Yeah.
but maybe,
Yeah, we'll be a little
Yeah.
more of attractive community, but
Yeah.
it's gonna hurt us on the financial side.
yeah.
So your demographics are changing.
Yep, our median income is going up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what our population is doing.
From,
We want to be under 5,000 for these grants.
Yep.
under 5,000, okay.
And
That may not
we
be true
flirt
anymore.
with that line all the
We
time.
do, like
We're up
since,
and, we're above, we're below, we're above, we're below.
for centuries, if you go back.
That's funny.
Yeah,
Never seem to get much more,
Mhm.
but then don't drop below very much either.
yeah.
And with all the new houses being built too, you would think it would start increasing. It's not.
Kind of trade itself off, and leave it
Yeah.
Yeah.
balanced.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Around that number.
Hey, Rich, I didn't mean to interrupt, but do grants raise our income for the town as well?
No, it's based on all of us, not what the town receives.
Based upon the income of all the residents.
I think the last master plan had us like at 8,000 by now, or
Did it
10,000.
really?
Yeah,
Oh, my goodness.
yeah, I was a little
Yeah, a
optimistic.
little off. We try.
So, all right, perfect. So we'll move on to community engagement. Again, we're going to re-highlight areas identified for potential business developments, which include Main Street, West Warren Village and Town Center. We got Route 67 and Gilbert Road. Again, this is like kind of going back to our zoning. I wanted to ask you guys if you agree if there's possibilities to stretch out over there, or if you're okay with the current villages.
So wait, say that again? What do you mean?
So for Gilbert Road,
Oh, yeah,
more specifically, is there possibility for stretching that out to be more on the economic development for commercial and stuff like that?
Yeah,
Or
especially
are we
with the-
okay?
The potential for, for horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential there.
So recreation, right?
Recreation.
Yeah.
Call that recreation, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah,
So it could be a park, like an amusement park sort of thing, or.
Mhm.
Perfect, yeah.
What was the thing was proposed in Palmer recently, like a water park?
Water park,
Mhm.
it was a water park,
Right.
yeah,
I don't know what happened
That
to
would be
no
so much
idea.
fun.
that.
But then the challenges with Gilbert Road is trying to, the bridge, the train bridge, does that impact
Oh,
us?
yeah.
Oh.
That
Well-
really impacts
No,
us.
that could be, they could do something different.
Well, the train
with
bridge and the little bridge, the little
that.
historic
Well, that's it,
bridge.
there's a historic bridge
Yeah.
going over the river, and
Those are
then
two
you go under the
challenges.
train underpass, which is very small, narrow space.
And that would be it, yeah.
Yeah, it's, Gilbert Road is definitely limited access off of Route 67.
Yeah.
Right, and that would be a challenge.
From Route 19, you could drive a, semi-truck through there with ease,
Mhm.
but from Route 67 coming in that way, we cannot.
No, at this time.
Yeah,
Right.
you'd have to have a different bridge put in, you'd
Yeah.
have to change the underpass for the railroad.
That-
That's
so
no,
that
not
would never
happening.
happen.
And that
Never
could be,
happen.
and that could be impacting what Mr. Callahan wants to do too.
Yeah, but having access from Santos and New Reed Street, which is coming in from, it would be coming in from both sides, and you would cut the lower half of Gilbert out. So if you improve the conditions of Santos Road, improve Gilbert Road, and then improve New Reed Street, you essentially create a loop where you're cutting out the section of Gilbert that connects it to Route 67 where your restrictions are. So again, it would funnel more of the traffic in from South Street and Route 19 as opposed, so you would, if you wanted access, it would be simple. You just wouldn't turn right on Gilbert Road, you'd go to the center of West Warren, turn
the
right
light.
onto South Street, and then from South Street, you have multiple access points to that area on Gilbert Road,
Mhm.
so.
Which we want people driving through West Warren anyways.
Right.
Santos Road is third on my list right now for rebuilding roads, so that's happening soon, within a couple of years.
What's the first two?
Coy Hill and O'Neill Road.
All right. Okay, so moving on, we have residents desire more local grocery stores, sit-down restaurants, banks, medical supply stores, and small mom-and-pop shops. And then the last one, there is a strong interest in businesses that cater to families and outdoor activities, such as mini golf, outdoor movie theaters, and family fun parks. So with this section, do we all agree? Personally, I remember in the workshop, a lot of people complained that, first of all, about the bank leaving and closing down.
Yeah.
It's really hard for them for that. Restaurants that they have to go to other towns for that, especially Palmer. Palmer was mentioned a lot, especially in the survey as well. And then they want mom and pop stores, something where it's local, it's easy, it's not just like some big box place. So
The problem with that, since I've been here, none of them have survived.
Yeah, they can't compete.
You can't compete
Exactly.
and,
You can't offer the prices
Right.
of the
Right,
supermarkets
and
and
the-
mom and pop
right.
store. They have overhead costs that
they
the
don't
large
last.
people
Even,
don't have.
even restaurants don't last. The only thing that's been a consistent is down,
Is, yeah,
Masons.
Masons
and George's.
and George's, and that's it.
That's it. Those are the two places that have been consistent for
There's
several
been a
years.
million different restaurants
Oh.
in West Warren, and it's a million mom and pops in downtown. None of them last because people don't spend the money.
yeah, and it could also be linkage towards maybe there's a lack of walkability. So maybe people just don't have the desire to look like if we focus on a certain area, town center. They don't feel inclined to walk around and then maybe check out a coffee shop from as they're doing something there. So I think that with the economic development, that's something I really want to focus on is like, why aren't these businesses staying? Is it just this one attraction and they don't really have anything else to go to for that? Or is it something else? Is it connections towards the lack of diversity? We just need to look more deeper into it because it sounds like the residents really want it. They want something that's even open later. They want access to more things like other places. They just don't know how can we keep it here. So, perfect. And I like that you guys brought up Fort Gilbert Road for the recreation, because again, that's something a lot of people brought up. Mini golf, someone talked about family fun parks a lot. Like, that was a big conversation. And we can see that the population is also changing too. Families are moving out here. So that could be something we can look into of how can we cater towards that type of demographics and families.
If you have a bit higher demographic of income, you can attract a better restaurant or something like that. But because right now, they're not spending money here.
Exactly.
Yeah. And the people that are spending money drive to the next town
Yeah.
over.
And
So,
just one was right out.
yeah.
So, okay, perfect. So we're gonna look at our strengths. Things that we found: natural beauty and the rural charm. Warren's natural beauty and rural charm are significant assets that can be leveraged for ecotourism, historical tourism, and agritourism. And then also the proximity to popular venues like Salem Cross Inn, the Public House, and the Sturbridge Village. With this, do you guys agree that these are one of our top charms for natural beauty and rural culture? Is there something I'm missing that maybe there's?
So, yeah, and we have an apple orchard, is that agritourism?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that brings in, the
And we have,
We have a couple of
The
good restaurants in
Blue-
Sturbridge, besides.
oh, Sturbridge is exploding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of places there. But it's just close enough for us to go and just far enough for them not to come our.
so there's the Blue Trail, it's a canoeing, kayaking
Kayaking.
trail that's
Trail.
the Quabog River. And we have Lucy Stone Park.
Yep. That's the developing part.
So actually, on the river, if we could do like a walking path or something,
That'd be huge.
that would
Yes.
be pretty cool. Then at least we utilize that land.
Yeah. Be something I'd love to see.
I like that. Okay. So the next one is potential for niche markets. There is potential to develop niche markets such as bed and breakfasts. We have outdoor recreation activities and wedding-related businesses. We can also focus on local farms and agricultural businesses, promoting part of Warren's economic development strategy. So with that, we kind of like did like a little deep dive of what type of farms are around here, what are they doing, and it seemed like they're pretty active on Facebook, on their websites. People go, they win awards. Like, it's something I think we can probably team up with and maybe advertise more with them. So either that's with the farmers markets and it's just bringing people out here. Maybe we do events on their farm, and it's just something new that brings people into town and maybe boosts that tourism in that area. Also, weddings. There's one place here that's really big.
I don't remember the name either.
Oh my gosh, it's a cute little cabin. They have
So
goats. It's adorable.
In
It's
Warren?
off of Southbridge Street.
Is that the, yeah, the bed?
I have the name of it.
Southridge?
Oh,
Laurel Ridge? Laurel Ridge?
Laura
Yeah.
Ridge, Laura Ridge.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Laurel Ridge.
Very beautiful place tucked in.
Yeah, it's tucked in.
Tucked in a
You
little
don't
valley.
even know it's
It's
there.
like a mile off the road,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, when I looked on it on the satellite maps, it's like you can't even tell it's there. It's just trees over it, but I have the address pin. I'm like, okay. But I
Yeah.
think that's something that we could really maybe, especially because we do have a lot of rural here. It's natural beauty. That's the theme for weddings. They want that nice outdoors. So that could be something we look into. Any other niche markets that we should consider that you think we're not touching on?
Hmm. Do well here. The bed and breakfast and stuff, that is what we would be good
Horse-related
for.
facility.
Yeah, or, well, that's it, is that'll change everything. This horse
Well, I'm not even
facility.
talking about
Yeah, but-
that thing.
But saying
But just
in
in
general.
general, like,
I don't think there
the
is
thing
any
on
really.
Snow Road, right?
Yeah.
There's
That's
like
a big horse
That's a big
adoption
horse
place.
farm.
Yeah,
So
like there's like a
boarding.
foster home boarding for horses. I
Yeah.
saw
Yeah,
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we have
Yeah, we
land.
Yeah, we don't really offer that. Nobody in town
No.
does that.
Because I think what Warren could really do, and I'm taking this as personally for me, like this could be like a weekend getaway for people. who want to get out of the city and just want to be in touch with nature, have a cute little bed and breakfast, and
Mhm.
Horseback riding,
Yep.
Yeah,
fishing on the river,
yeah.
on the river walk.
Mhm.
This could be nice.
Petting zoo.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, when I saw the pictures with the goat, I'm like, I need to go.
Yeah.
Like, I
love
love
goats.
goats. Yoga with goats. There you go. All right. So moving on to the next one then. Good school system. We have, I'm sorry if I pronounce it wrong,
Quabog.
Quabog. I'm not from New England, so I'm like, it always throws me off. Regional School District is a significant employer and offers vocational training, which could expand to local job opportunities. I remember when we talked with the fire chief, he also says how he works with students here, so when they graduate high school, they can already be certified to be fired. I think that's awesome. I think that's something that should probably be more enterprise. There's also, I believe, a
The
nursing.
nursing program.
Yeah.
Yep. That's been very successful.
So this is stuff that we can probably dig in even more, and maybe we can try to expand to keep people here instead of leaving when they get their jobs. So
We also have Pathfinder. So
Pathfinder.
there are kids, I think there's 40-ish kids,
Oh, yeah.
maybe,
Yeah, I
from
think
Warren
that's
that
what
go
it
to
was this year.
Pathfinder. So that's a Voc Tech school.
Not too far away.
So, Quabog will have like a woodworking class, but,
You go to,
at Pathfinder, you can learn to be a carpenter
Which is
or a
awesome.
plumber or whatever,
Yeah.
so.
and it's not too far.
No, there's a bus.
Yeah,
I was gonna
saying
say,
that we
isn't there a
bus
bus?
to it.
Yeah.
I know there's
Couple
a
buses
couple
that go-
buses in town pick
Yep.
up kids for Pathfinder every day. Well, not right yet, but next week I think they start.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah, they usually start early.
Yep.
Yeah. And then something else that we just need to look more in, like as I said, like the school district is the biggest employer here. So maybe there's some connection there with teachers or staff, stuff like that. So, okay. So we already kind of discussed it. I had a little note here for water and sewer. I will say you guys have a lot of connections for water compared to other towns, which is it opens the door a lot for opportunities to expand. Do you guys have any other comments for water and sewer if it comes to as one of your strengths?
Yeah, it's available, but it's because nobody's using it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
All right.
Yeah, we can definitely support a lot of business when it comes to those two things, as long as they're within the districts. Water district doesn't reach too far out of town, but both downtown areas are well covered.
We've got a new treatment plant
Yeah, new
for
water, yes.
Warren
Warren's-
Water District.
Yeah, a filtration plant. So the
Mhm.
water quality is much improved.
Perfect. Okay. So we're going to scroll on down to our key findings. Number 1 is desire for diverse businesses. In this section, we see that residents have consistently expressed a strong desire for a variety of businesses in town. These include small retail stores, we got personal services as like lawyer office, dentist, or even hair salons, local mom and pop shops, and healthcare services, such as walk-in centers, primary care physicians, and specialists. There's a clear preference for unique and local businesses over big box stores. Additionally, residents want more places open later in the evening, such as restaurants or coffee shops, with specific mentions of a brewery.
That was me.
Really.
I second that.
Investing in diversifying businesses can significantly enhance the quality of life by focusing on the community-oriented services and creating a vibrant local economy. So, taking that into consideration, let's figure out what our strategies are. So it's nice and pretty when we see it, but how can we make this a reality? So the first strategy is updating the zoning bylaws to be more business friendly. With this, Warren can create supportive and attractive processes for small and inspiring entrepreneurs through progressive zoning practices. The current zoning code does not distinguish between businesses according to their size or environment impact. This means that a large manufacturing plant would be categorized and treated as the same as a small family-operated business with just a handful of employees. So we're applying for a special permit or a zoning appeal can be expensive, a process that also takes town staff time and costly to taxpayers. So maybe we should create a more flexible zoning that reduces those barriers.
But on the flip side, protecting our small town charge and not cutting down millions of trees and making sure that we do have residential areas that people aren't parking their dump trucks in and opening their small business in my nice house and I've got a guy with 5 dump trucks next to me. That, we've got to protect that piece of it too.
Exactly.
Be
I know-
specific to where you allow things.
Right.
The zone, like I said, that's why identifying these zoning
Right.
areas.
And so-
Specifically, yeah.
One of the supported zoning elements is a home-based business support. There is a link in there if you guys want to check it out. It just goes into detail on what exactly it is, and it's pretty much helping out businesses that are at home. They might even have 1 or 2 employees there, so we can open up the bylaw to allow them to expand, and it kind of just helps them start businesses here, and maybe it'll start bringing more people and finding an option to work and live here. The next is mixed-use by right in commercial areas. So maybe we just have our commercial areas and then we add mixed use into it. So maybe they can add their office below and then their
Or
house on top.
residential above.
Residential, just
By creating mixed use.
exactly, but making it by right in all commercial areas. So.
I wouldn't do that.
Moving on to some of the considerations is reevaluating outdated verbiage and commit to regular updates as needed. As that's why I brought in the bylaw in the beginning to read through it and see is there anything that's popping out, like how you said the small town, like what does that mean now? Is that really representing Warren? Is that something we want to touch base on? Creating development standards from commonalities in current commercial zoning codes. So instead of organizing the information by individual neighborhoods and sub-areas, organize regulations by use. Doing so can maintain the same intent and improve the user's ability to understand where commercial development occurs. And then establish a hierarchy in zoning regulations. Recategorizing and or redefining commercial zones within Warren to consistently designate commercial zones based on intensity of uses rather than specifying allowable individual uses. It would also restructure the allowable use table. I put an example down here, so you have C1, which would be commercial 1, it's specific into neighborhood commercial, you have a list in there. C2, retail sales, C3, mid-size, C4, office, and then C5 for transit-oriented commercial. This kind of broadens it, and then also it might be a little bit easier next to residential areas where they're like, I don't want
Yeah.
this type of business, but neighborhood commercial is okay with me because it's not so intrusive in their area.
That'd be like a corner store, right?
Exactly, a nice little corner store.
Okay.
So before we move on to our second strategy, do we have any comments for this one?
So that, I mean, you're talking about completely rewriting the zoning.
There will be
Yeah.
certain updates specifically to it, so.
And do we know, like, you guys are also working on the diagnostic? Do you know where that's at?
We applied to do the full update, which would be changing the zoning, but
Okay.
the diagnostic is just looking at areas to look at through the update. So I haven't talked to Jane, but I think she wanted to get it done by December,
Okay, all right.
which I think is a deadline.
How would that, what you just said, how would that apply to the mill, for instance?
I mean, the mill already has an overlay, so we'd be focusing less on that. I think that area and the other overlay are pretty well put, but we'd be looking at the other areas that we've been talking about that are like a rural residential.
Now,
Um,
is
and
the
village.
mill mixed right now? Or just-
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yep.
So you can do both there. But in a lot of the residential, it's like, how much commercial can you bring into residential? And this would establish what you would be allowed to do in certain zones. So allowing commercial on a larger scale, but still controlling it depending on where it is in the town.
Exactly.
I guess it would be interesting to see a bylaw that's constructed this way.
Yeah.
Definitely.
because I don't really know what that looks like, you know.
I'll add
I know our bylaws are kind of odd. Some other towns have more of, like what isn't allowed and everything else is, or something like that.
Well, and the other issue is we don't enforce our bylaws. From my perspective, we need to.
Well, zoning bylaws are a little different.
Right.
But you're talking about more of.
Right, but we have to also make sure that we're enforcing on this, those areas that.
Well, yeah, they
people-
wouldn't
we
be
do.
able, oh,
Yeah,
believe me,
yeah.
that's enforced.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
zoning laws are.
Planning and the
planning,
building
Yeah,
inspector.
Good, yep.
Yeah.
That's definitely enforced.
All right, so we'll move on to our strategy number 2. We want to leverage those key niches to increase tourism. The town of Warren is renowned for its natural beauty and rural charm. The economic development chapter aims to harness Warren's unique assets to drive economic growth, so focusing on leveraging these key niches like the ecotourism. Again, we're stating these, the historical tourism and agri-tourism. We're recognizing the untapped potential of local farms, bed and breakfasts, outdoor recreation activities, and wedding-related businesses. This strategy is to approach a diversified business offerings and attract a variety of entrepreneurs that meets residents' needs and hopefully can create some jobs as we're capitalizing on Warren's assets. So, like we said, potential key niches are the local farms and agricultural businesses. We got bed and breakfasts, outdoor recreation activities, and weddings. Some considerations with this is promoting ecotourism, higher historical tourism, and agri-tourism to capitalize on Warren's natural beauty and rural charm. So maybe we can even work on developing wayfinding and branding incentives to attract tourists. So again, tying in that walkability as they're looking around, how you guys said on down the river, that trail, I think that's a really good idea right there, so. Also, again, teaming up with local businesses to help expand their business. I'll probably send out to Sarah to send to you guys the businesses that we found, and maybe you guys can add to the list. Maybe we're missing certain people out there, and we want to reach out and see what their ideas are and how they think the town can help them, and vice versa, so we can get more information. So for this one, this is all done for key finding number 1, strategy 1 and 2. Any comments? No? All right.
Yeah.
Let's move on. So key finding number 2, need for revitalization of key commercial corridors. So stakeholders have voiced strong support for investments to rejuvenate the town center and West Warren Village to fulfill the potential as thriving centers of commerce and community activity. This finding highlights the need for the town's action to address vacant storefronts, building facades, and streetscape improvements. With this, potential strategies, do you guys agree before we move on to our strategies? Anything that you want to add to that? Do you agree with it? Is there something else that we need to highlight for it?
The vacant storefronts, it's been years and nothing really lasted. And I'm trying to think what would go in there that would last, that would so they could make money. I would love to have back, but people, when they say that, they think back in the day when there wasn't the Walmarts and these big centers, but the world's changed, and you see many towns and communities that I go to, the downtown area storefronts are closed and stuff like that, so I'm not so sure how to be successful. The other things are good, but I'm just concerned about the efforts going there and trying to get businesses to stay there because they have not had much success. And sadly.
But as you pointed out, that's something you see, you know.
It's not just
every
every-
town you drive in around here, most of them suffer from the same economic loss that we
Right.
do.
The
When it
world-
comes to, you have the Walmart next in Ware and in Sturbridge and
Yeah.
like, again, you have the big stores, Lowe's, I mean, you're taking away the little stores' opportunity because I would rather take one trip to a store where I can buy 5 different things and I get a discount rate.
Right.
And I can use my Lowe's card for 0% financing for a year. You go to mom and pop store, they can't afford to sell it for that.
No, that's the part,
And
exactly.
they don't have all 5 options that I would at the other store. So it's great to say I want to support them, but the reality is, how often am I going to support them?
I agree.
Yep. And as far as banks go, banks, not many people go banking anymore. Everything's done online now. So,
Everything's on your
I
phone.
mean, those days are over. Banks are not doing brick and mortar because everybody's doing online. There are a niche of the banks that still do it, but
And generally, they own their establishments. They can downsize and it
And
doesn't
they can-
affect them.
right.
They cut personnel and, you know, I only need 3 tellers now and we used to have 5.
right, everybody has direct deposit now, and pays their bills online. So the banks, I think that ship might have sailed too.
So I do want to state for vacant storefronts and how you mentioned about the big stores like Walmart and everything. Maybe we need to stir away from maybe having just a hardware store to maybe it's a wine and paint, something like that that brings people in. I worked where I was doing some research and I saw that this town teamed up. The school didn't have an arts facility anymore, and so someone who funded it, they ended up opening an arts area in their center of town, and so the bus would drop them off and parents would pick them up from there, and it was arts class, and it revitalized the whole area. Coffee shops were starting to open because parents were just waiting for their kids and stuff like that. And so, like, other than just thinking these storefronts just need to be stores, maybe there's something else that we can touch base with that. So,
That's a good idea, an interesting idea. Yes,
yeah, it's
Yeah.
thinking outside the box. in
you've
a
got
Yeah.
to think out of the box.
Exactly. So going into that, with our strategies, let's talk about the fill vacant storefronts. So we have the numerous vacant commercial buildings in town that need redevelopment. Most are located in our key areas, like the town center in West Warren Village. What considerations we need to do is phase redevelopment. We have to consider phased approach for redevelopment, prioritizing areas at the highest potential impact while allowing flexibility and adjustment based on community feedback and economic conditions. We got architectural compatibility. With that is redevelopment projects maintain and enhance architectural character. I think you guys really touched base on your code already about that with the historical. It's just maybe honing in more specific details with a design plan or having certain design features. Prevent future vacancies. So we need to figure out how we can develop a long-term strategy for maintaining occupancy and revitalization buildings. So that includes ongoing support for tenants and proactive property management. This could be where we hire a part-time economic development leader who works with the business owners, reaches out to other networks and brings them in, and then also works with the town to see how can we help them out. Their storefront isn't looking so well, so let's see what we can do. So there's constant communication with them, and they're not feeling like they're being left out and they have to just leave. There's also monitoring and evaluation, so establishing benchmarks and regular evaluate of success of revitalization efforts, making adjustments as needed to ensure long-term economic viability. So next we have some funding sources that I listed here. We have facade improvements by the Massachusetts Department of Housing and Community Development. They call it their Sign and Facade Rapid Recovery Program Toolkit, and it breaks down really how stores can really up their facade areas along with signage and stuff like that. There could also be the funding goes towards it. Towns just need to apply with the grant. There's also underutilized properties program by Mass Development. There's municipal vacant storefronts programs, economic assistance coordinating council. These are just a few. There's a lot more out there. It's just taking consistency, making time to write those grants and going out to get it. But the funding's there. We just need to work out there
And have the interest.
and have the interest.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's, look, I would
I
love to
agree.
have the interest, believe me.
Will there be funding on the first thing you said, was to bring people here, like nature lovers and all that? We don't have any charging stations. A lot of those people drive electric vehicles.
It's an excellent point, too, yeah.
Do we have funding for that,
Massachusetts is going away from town-owned electric vehicle charging. because the technology changes so rapidly, they were coming out with grants for it with green communities and
Yeah.
other things. But they're going out of style so quickly because the technology is in such development. So it's typically been private companies that are adding EV charging. But it'd be interesting to look at the regional map to see where the closest ones are.
Yeah.
Because
Talk
you are gonna
about
get
that
people, to your
transportation.
point, you've gotta have charged vehicles.
Yeah,
I agree.
he's very much right
Yeah.
on that one.
Sturbridge is probably.
Sturbridge,
Yeah, or Palmer.
But I can't even think of-
Palmer. I know by the turnpike there, by a job lot, they just put in a huge
Oh, yeah,
charging
that's
station.
right.
Yeah.
Huge
Yeah.
charging station.
There's a ton there.
But there's
Yeah.
nothing here.
There's nothing
Probably
here.
about the closest one right
Yeah.
now.
Didn't we try,
Probably.
weren't we gonna put one in?
Yeah, at the parks.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Yeah, that was a mess.
It wasn't planned
No, it was not
properly,
planned
and
properly.
so we ended up having to pull the plug on it. So, but-
Nice.
Was that a grant one though? Was that granted, you know?
Yeah,
Grant funded.
it was grant funded.
The problem is though, if you're gonna park your car for half an hour to charge it, like on the town common, what do you do?
What do you do for a half
There's
hour?
nothing to do. I mean, you could go get pizza, but, you know,
Or
if
go
you're not
across to
hungry.
Glenda's, have a cocktail.
Oh, see, now that's a good idea.
Go to Mason's?
Think about that,
We
yeah.
can walk over to Mason's, have a delicious
Breakfast
or
and lunch.
Yeah.
Close at 2.
You
Close
can't
on
have
Mondays and
dinner,
Tuesdays.
but, yeah, you want dinner, just walk around the corner to George's.
Yeah,
They'll take care
if
of
they're
you
open.
for dinner.
On Mon- they're off. I think they close on Mondays, don't they?
Hey, you can also go to the library, you know?
Yes,
Yeah.
sure, the library's right there.
What's in the library?
I think there's books.
Really?
I haven't been in there in a while.
No.
I don't think
Hold on,
anybody-
let me check.
I don't think anybody's been in there in a while.
There is computers, remember, right?
Yeah.
They do the loud beeping noise and everything, all old school. I'm just
Is it dial up?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. Okay, perfect.
Museum.
Let's go to our second strategy, which is the plan for industrial development by Gilbert Road to prepare for potential the I-90 exit. So there's been a lot of talk, there's anticipation for the future that there's gonna be an exit on I-90 near Gilbert Road. It will present very significant opportunity for economic growth in Warren. So, strategically planning industrial/commercial development in this area can ensure the town is well prepared to capitalize to increase the traffic and visitor flow. By focusing on this location, Warren can attract new businesses and services, creating a robust industrial corridor that serves both residents and travelers. This strategy really emphasizes a proactive planning to maximize the benefits for the future exit, positioning Warren as a regional hub and commerce for services. So the key commercial areas of focus, of course, is the Gilbert Road near the future I-90 exit. The challenges. Well, considerations, starting off is challenges, private ownership. I kind of want to talk a little more on that private ownership. I've heard some things that sometimes he's willing to sell and then it like falls through. It's very he say, she say at
Yeah.
the workshop.
Is
I
this for the
know.
Gil, is this, well, everything changed as of,
Well, again, it's developing,
yeah.
it seems like weekly
Weekly
changes.
changes.
I mean, now we have obviously this new thing presented to the planning board just this week.
But
Things
who
happen
knows?
fast and,
Yeah.
and nothing, again, it's just another idea brought to the table.
There's a huge amount of hurdles, right? There's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
be animal
Oh.
care, there's gonna be restaurants,
Huge.
there's gonna be gaming, there's like,
Yeah, they
almost
gotta,
every department in the town
Yep.
gets touched by it, right?
Oh,
Board
yeah.
of Health, the animal inspector, highway, police, fire.
police and fire is gonna be massive.
know.
Oh, yeah.
They're gonna have to have their own security.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Moving on into zoning and land use. We need to review and potentially revise zoning regulations to accommodate a mixed commercial uses, ensuring the development aligns with the town's vision and meets the needs of both residents and visitors. When we're thinking about the zoning map, I believe that area is mostly that rural residential, and then also maybe some parts of it have the overlay as well.
Yeah.
So maybe we need to specify again, just that area, what can we do to bring in businesses, be prepared for that exit? Because like how Sarah said, the chicken and egg scenario, it's like, well, are they gonna come or are they not? How about we just prepare and be ready for that
Mhm.
and show that there's actual interest in something, it's not just talk.
Mhm.
So,
pave New Reed Street. A road with no houses on it.
Build it and they will come.
I will build it. and
They
they
will
will come.
come. Put a sign up right there.
That's
Please
it.
come.
Open for business.
That's right.
Jeremy, is there any other opportunity to put, I know I get the railroad tracks, I'm gonna say, put the entrance to Gilbert Road further down on 67, but I don't think so.
No.
No.
You still gotta cross a railroad.
Yeah.
I know, in a railroad
You gotta
track.
go over a river and a railroad track.
I know,
No matter
I
what.
know, I know.
So you need to only be thinking about Gilbert Road through access from South Street and Brook Road.
What if we
Which
tunnel under?
South Street again comes right down, I mean, it's a quarter of a mile from
I
Gilbert
know.
Road to the light, traffic lights to turn right onto South Street. So you're not asking people to drive very far to get around that obstacle. So, again, your improvements need, and then South Street is a massive road. It was built by, by the state essentially. It can handle a large amount of traffic easily. And then same thing, Brook Road was built the same way, which comes off of 19. It was the main route built around the town for emergency exit, basically. It was one of the emergency evacuation routes. And then, like I said, but then New Reed, Santos to Gilbert, nothing ever, they were built, but nothing was ever done. And it wasn't built to handle large capacity stuff. It was essentially redirecting the rural traffic. So they had a new route to go around because when they built the turnpike, it eliminated Reed Street, which used to be the road that went all the way through. So Reed Street was eliminated at South Street, and then they built New Reed to reconnect back over to Gilbert. So, and again, it was just kind of, you can tell they didn't spend a lot of money on it.
But Callahan also owns that property in Brimfield too.
Yes,
So it's a potential,
he owns both sides of the turnpike,
Yeah.
Warren and Brimfield.
All right, perfect. So we'll move on to targeted business attraction. So again, we'll be focusing on attracting businesses that benefit from and contribute to the increased traffic. So this could be gas stations, restaurants, retail, hospitality services, how well, light industrial, recreation areas. I think we kind of need to hone in what our plans would be. But we, like how you said, we have to also focus about what can those roads support.
But again, the development, as far as getting close to Gilbert Road, there's a lot of room as far as, South Street, Brook Road, getting to that point, but large wetlands and everything on New Reed and on one side of Gilbert too, so.
Yeah.
There's not much we can do to open up space for this stuff. It's kind of, the space is either there or it's not. So,
you're dealing with hundreds of cars now. I know, and
Yeah.
that could be a challenge.
oh yeah. Well, again, I think anything that develops in there has to come with a plan
Exactly.
to build up the infrastructure around it. So it can't, we're not just saying, hey, we'll fix all the roads and all the infrastructure, and then you come plot your business in the middle, in this district for us, we prepped it for you. We can't justify spending the money to prep the roads and the infrastructure to handle what
Correct.
might be coming.
Yeah.
It'd be different if you knew it was coming, and there was money involved with like a partnership between commercial and the town. It's just, you would have to have some support there. I mean, it would take 3 years' budget just to fix that area as far as all just those roads and that intersection. And
We have
again,
some challenges, yeah.
That's an area with no houses. So yeah, it's great for building, businesses and whatnot, but, as a town, we can't justify putting money into a spot that has no residents whatsoever.
Yeah.
I mean, there's cut-through traffic. We do have residents on Knox Trail, which is the end of Gilbert, but that's a very short stretch. And other than that, we get pass-through traffic from Brimfield to Warren through there. And there's a fair amount of traffic, but not enough to justify spending $1 million on fixing those roads.
Yeah.
And the other variable nobody's brought up, residents might say they don't want it.
You're true.
And that's, we have not even brought that up. No, we don't want it, we don't want that kind of clientele. I'm not saying it's, I'm not, that is a variable too here.
Yeah, I mean, we in this room generally support it,
Yeah,
but there is a large portion of the town that still likes the town exactly how it is.
And
It
you gotta-
does not want a big horse facility or, equestrian facility.
especially if you live
They
on
don't want-
Santos.
They don't want
Or
restaurants and
Brooks,
gas
yeah.
stations there. They don't wanna see that stuff.
No.
That's why they live here, so they don't have to see that.
So that could be a potential challenge too.
Yeah,
But a lot of people complain about taxes. And,
yeah, well.
I-
And again, a lot of the people that are on fixed incomes that are struggling with the tax increases would benefit the most from having that business come to town
Yeah.
that they don't necessarily want, but that'll cover the bill that they can't afford to
I
pay.
agree.
It's a compromise that they're going to have to make, and somebody's gonna have to explain to them that, listen, yes, you don't want this, but this will make your quality of life so much better, because your financial strain from the town side of things won't be as great. You'll
Yes.
have more support, there'll be more facilities to help you, more, advantages from all of the new businesses, or whatever, it's a restaurant, a medical facility, whatever it might be. It's all gonna be to their advantage, but they're going to have to watch their town change in front of them.
Yep.
So, and that's difficult.
Definitely, yeah. So you kind of did a really good leeway to the last point, is just having that long-term growth and flexibility. So really considering the phases and development of the future for that area. So how can we make it more flexible for the area as it grows and the needs of the community as it evolves? So I think you touched base beautifully on it. I'm like, don't need to expand more.
Excellent.
But you read ahead, it's fine. But other than that, those were the
We have one more key finding.
Oh, we do? My thing, oh, I have a random big space. Thank you. I was like, oh, I could have spent ahead more.
That's also just what we were talking about too.
Mhm.
Poor Rich.
It flipped on me.
Went all the way back to the top.
All right.
Okay.
There we go.
So key finding number 3, we're gonna, the desire to increase the commercial tax levy. So as Warren seeks to strengthen its economic foundation and ensure long-term fiscal stability, one of the key findings in economic development strategy is the need to increase the commercial tax levy. Currently, the town's tax base is heavily reliant on residential properties, which places a significant financial burden on these residents and limits the town's ability to invest in essential services and infrastructure. Exactly as Rich said, by strategically increasing the commercial tax levy, Warren can generate additional revenue to fund crucial projects, reduce the tax burden on homeowners, and promote a more balanced and sustainable fiscal approach. So certain strategies that we can look at is, number 1, diversifying businesses, offering to encourage new businesses. We see that Warren's economic growth hinges on attracting new businesses that can meet the diverse needs of residents and visitors. So again, we're just re-specifying that diversity these businesses by offerings, creating certain offerings from the town can create a more vibrant and appealing environment for new entrepreneurs. So this strategy really emphasizes the importance of fostering a diverse commercial landscape. These can include small retail shops, personal services, so on and so forth, everything that we have discussed before. And so going on to our considerations, business incentives. So implementing tax incentives, grants, and reduced permit fees attract new businesses, particularly in underdeveloped or high potential areas. I was kind of thinking maybe a business incentive, if a business comes in and they want to put a charging post, there could be something in there. Oh, you want to do charging posts in your parking lot? Great, maybe we can bring something out. We can tweak a little something on our end. So that's always something to think about. Support local entrepreneurs. So creating programs that support local entrepreneurs including business incubation services, mentorship programs, and networking opportunities to help them establish and grow their businesses. This is something that I think you guys are already on the track of doing with the fire department, with the nursing program. I think it could be expanded even more. So we can go into that. But before we move on, any comments or questions for?
You know, I think the tax incentives is also a very critical element too. Absolutely. We have to, you know, any way to get a substantial business in here.
Yep, I agree. So, okay, we'll move on to our strategy number 2, private and public partnerships. So we're going to be fostering private and public partnerships that can be powerful strategy for co-creating businesses that serve the community while also reducing the burden on municipal resources. By privatizing certain municipal jobs and services such as trash pickup or facility maintenance, Warren can open opportunities for private businesses to take on these roles, creating jobs and stimulating the local economy. This strategy not only leverages private sector efficiency and innovation, but also allows the town to focus resources on core functions and economic development incentives. With that, certain examples that we thought of was like the trash pickup or outsourcing for facility maintenance and management. Considerations is contracting and accountability, establishing clear contracts with private providers that outline performance standards, accountability measures, and mechanisms for ongoing evaluation to ensure the service quality is maintained and improved. Job creation and economic growth, so we really want to focus on these privatizing services in a way that encourages the creation of local businesses. This could even be for certain town common areas with grass lawns, stuff like that. We can maybe privatize even with that. We just really want to take the burden off of the town. And maybe that could lower that tax levy with residentials and stuff like that. And maybe we can focus on the money somewhere else. Do you guys actually, this is something I want to talk more about, is certain ideas you might have that can be switched from public to private other than trash pickup or?
Yeah. Well, trash pickup is already
It's private.
Private.
It is private?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's,
it's
there's like 5 companies. It would be actually good to have just one company.
that would be
Do you have
nice.
the town contract with anybody?
No,
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 So that
that's one
that
thing.
would be nice to decide to block it into one. Would certainly help me, as I have trash trucks causing problems and damage all over town on every given day. You know, especially when it comes to storms and stuff, there's always trucks getting stuck and we have to deal with. Where if we knew where their routes were and what days they were, it would certainly help a lot. But right now, there's, again, 5 companies going in 5 different directions on 5 different days. And we constantly have to deal with that.
cool. We could talk more about that in the town services chapter.
I agree. Okay. Any other ones that you think that could be maybe taking a load off?
I mean, I don't think it would save a lot of money to outsource like parks, cemeteries and stuff for maintenance. I mean, we're not spending a tremendous amount of money in our budget for labor and whatnot to handle those facilities. But it would be an option if you wanted to get quotes on, all right, have a private company come in to maintain these properties. It takes liability away from us, takes risk away from us. You would just have to identify the cost if you're paying a contract versus having a town employee take care of something. You have the cost of the employee, are they a benefit employee, are they a part-time employee? What are they using for equipment? What's our maintenance cost on the equipment, the fuel cost on the equipment? And then insurance and all the
Insurance.
things that come with that. And then all of those costs and risk would be passed over to a private company. But again, that comes with its own cost. So again, you have to balance, is it better for us to outsource, maybe spend a little less money, but then you don't quite have the control. You're at the mercy of this company. You can set their contract up any way you want, but really it's hard to lock anybody into something when they're a private business trying to make money. They're gonna do things the fastest, best way they can find, so they can utilize their time to make more money. And you really can't mess with that, because that's why they're in business. So it's a tough one. Again, you're talking about, you know, thousands of dollars, not hundreds of thousands, or even just maybe, you know, tens of thousands. So now you're a $30,000 contract where the town's now spending maybe $45,000 maintaining those properties. So yes, maybe you gain $10,000 or $15,000 on your tax base there, but really that $10,000 or $15,000 could be very quickly utilized in something else that's underfunded. Because we have a lot of departments in town that are really kind of underfunded. So yeah, it'd be great to save some money, but you're gonna give that money right back to somebody else. So the tax base is still gonna be there.
Be there, but we're actually focusing on something
Yeah.
that's needed.
Yeah.
I agree. All right. So, other than that, yeah, that's it. So, just a nice little refresh. Key finding number 1, we have desire for diverse businesses. Key finding number 2, the need for revitalization of key commercial corridors. And key finding number 3, desire to increase the commercial tax levy. With those in mind and what we've all talked and went through, is there anything you think we missed that you or something that you think personally we need to just focus more on and come back to you with more information?
I don't know, I just wanna steal businesses from other towns.
Right.
Come here,
No.
so, I mean, again, to like to say that we had a large tool bag to bring, you know, to work on this problem, it'd be great, we don't. There's only a few things we can do to make ourselves, you know, more of an attractive place, destination for businesses. And I think just identifying the handful of things that we can do and the town can afford to do, you know, and then pursuing it with as much vigor as we can. I mean, really, let's, you know, would it be truly beneficial to hire a consultant or someone to help promote the town business-wise?
Economic development.
Be that person that goes in between the planning board, the selectmen, the town administrator, and the private business, and try to put it all together with their help. And maybe the town picks up some of that financial responsibility to put somebody in that place, you know, to go after the businesses, to pursue that avenue. You know, if you, again, you create one position that pays, you know, even as a consultant, maybe, you know, $50,000 a year you put into that one spot. And then that person could then turn, maybe bring 2, 3, 4 businesses in over a few years that equal hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue and jobs to the town. So again, a good person in that position that is productive can pay for themselves 10 times over. But you also have to be weary of, okay, you bring in a dreamer who has all these grand ideas, but really you're paying him and nothing comes from it.
Right.
So it's,
Do you have a relationship with your chamber? Quabog Hills?
not that I know of.
That could be a step.
Probably more at a business level than
Yeah.
a town level. The
Yeah.
businesses in town would, like I know, there's, the guy's Jamie, he's the executive director,
Okay.
so I've met him. But
Cool.
that's on a business to chamber level.
Perfect. All right.
Okay.
Other than that, I think
Thank you.
I feel good. I'm like, you guys
Okay.
provided really good
No,
information.
you did a lot of
I
hard
told you you were the
work.
best.
Yeah.
I did.
And I'm like, I'm excited. It's gonna be
Good.
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 But-
Good. Well, we're excited.
Yeah, I
You
know I
We're
am.
hoping that this, you know, starts a spark that starts the fire.
I agree.
That's what we're looking for. So whatever avenue we end up, you know, how we utilize this plan and how we put things in motion to create that spark that starts this thing moving. You know, and, or maybe supporting one business that comes in, and that one business translate to several businesses that support
Correct.
that business.
Piggyback.
exactly.
Yep.
So ultimately, that's where we want to be. But we'll see if we can get there.
Cool. Next month will be transportation.
Transportation, all right, I might know a little about that.
Okay. Should we bring in anybody else?
Sure.
So Jim brought this in? Is this,
Oh, that was for.
that's for you? Okay.
All right. Well, thank you,
everybody.
ladies.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, let's roll through as fast
Yes.
as we possibly can, without skipping anything. Let's go through the other grant programs we're working on. John, you give us a little update on anything that comes across. Obviously, hazard mitigation MVP. I know that one plan was done, the other one was right around there.
Yep, it's still currently under review.
Review.
But hopefully within the next couple months, that'll be all set.
Okay.
Completed, yeah.
Okay. Open space and recreation planning and Lucy Stone updates. I don't know if there's anything on that. I don't know
Nope.
anything.
Nope.
Yeah.
Okay. One Stop for Growth updates, FY23 Prospect Street, FY24 Otis Street, and obviously master plan. John, when you have, obviously Otis it's coming to a completion, which is nice.
Right, yeah,
So-
so just a general, I guess, mixed a little bit in with the CDBG project on School Street, but, the contractor has completed the installation of the sidewalk. Base layer is also been installed, binder, contractor is currently working on some wall construction down by the southern end of School Street. I saw them out there working today, and then I think in coordination with, schools, Prospect Street and Richardson,
Yep.
the, final pavement will probably be done sometime around the fall.
Yeah.
early fall.
So, yeah, we're hoping for end of September, beginning of October.
Okay.
Depending on weather and a few other things, National Grid is actually in right now working on gas line upgrades and repairs on Prospect Street.
Oh,
So there's a small section that they wanted to redo before we pave it, and I motivated them
Yeah,
to
they didn't-
hurry up and show up.
Yeah.
Because they have about 4 weeks and then I'm gonna shut them off, so it's fix it now or you're not fixing it for a while.
Yeah.
So we got them moving on that. They also, National Grid also did some repairs to the wire, which marks the gas lines. So when they come out to do their basically inspection to find where the line is, there's a locator wire that they pick up with their transponder, and it identifies where the line is. Well, that line had been broken in like 3 or 4 places, I think. So I know National Grid was fixing that first. So, and that was on School Street. So that, and then, like I said, they're currently working on Prospect, an intersection of Prospect and Richardson. So again, that'll be wrapping up hopefully second week of September is what they told me and what I kind of deadline gave them. And from there, it's just some sidewalk prep on Prospect and Richardson Street before the highway department brings in some contractors to do that sidewalk work, and then milling, overlay, paving, which will then coincide with paving on School Street and Otis Street. So the project should pretty much wrap up completely middle of October to the end of October, as long as the weather is good. Let's hope. All of a sudden we don't get some hurricane come buzzing through.
Right.
I don't want to think about that.
No, God, no.
Okay, moving on, complete streets. I did speak with one of the representatives from CMRPC earlier in the week. She was rewriting another paper that we kind of miscommunicated on, so she came back with an example that wasn't exactly what I was looking for. So we're working on that still. Very slow process. When you can't focus on a project all the time, it's difficult to bring it to completion, but we're working on that. Green communities. No, I believe Jim applied for a few things. I don't remember what it was for
Let's
green
table it till
communities.
next meeting.
Yeah, we'll have to table that because Mr. Ferrara had the updates on that. Wrights Mill EDA updates. So, were they doing, isn't there something coming in the middle of September?
Yeah, there's like a,
Like an open house in the middle of September?
I think,
Yeah.
at the senior center. We're gonna
Yeah.
have a public.
Like a
Actually,
public-
flyer just went out
Yeah,
yesterday.
so that'll be good.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get
Who's
some,
they? Who's having-
community, so Weston and Sampson,
Yep,
the engineering firm
Yep.
that has that
okay,
contract.
yes, okay, not yet.
So they're organizing this, and hopefully we can get good community
Feedback.
feedback on it.
Excellent.
Hopefully that helps them with the program, so,
I think it's gonna be similar to what we did with the master plan,
Master.
for
Yep,
sure.
okay,
Yeah.
it sounds like a plan.
Workshop.
yeah, workshop,
Yep.
okay. So that will be September 18th. Is
Yep.
it?
What time?
18th.
I think it's like at 6 p.m.
6 to 8 p.m., I think is what it is. I'm not sure. That's
6
what I-
p.m.
6 p.m.
Excellent, crystal friend.
Okay, so that'll be nice. Okay, Warren ADA transition plan, pending application, Mass Office of Disabilities. I don't know if you have any updates on that.
No.
So, John, do you
I
have
don't
any?
have an update on the application, but I do know the plan was recently completed.
Okay.
And I believe the town has copies of that.
Yeah, I believe I saw a copy of it.
Okay, good. Yeah, if not, I can make sure that gets to you.
Yeah. Okay, CDBG. We can go right, accounts, program, income, miscellaneous funds. I think the money's still building on that.
Right.
So we have income monthly paying in, I don't know how many, we've had a few recaptures recently, so that's building,
Mhm.
which is good.
Yeah.
I mean, little extra spending money here and there for miscellaneous things,
Yeah.
doesn't hurt.
If it's helpful, next meeting I can bring some numbers.
Yeah,
if
that
that's
would,
useful.
that'd
Yeah,
be good.
yeah.
We want to kind of get an idea of where we're at with
Sure.
things,
Sure.
Yeah.
so, okay. You want to run through any other CDB updates?
Yeah, so for 22-23 program, we recently received a proposal for the town common improvement project from Weston and Sampson. So I actually have those proposals to see tonight. So it was the only proposal that was submitted.
Okay.
But I think it's a good one, so I think the committee can review it, make sure we want to move forward and award them the contract. So we'll set that up coming up soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
But yeah, we did get one proposal, so that was good news.
Yeah,
that's excellent
Yeah,
news.
yeah, yeah.
and as long as it's a good one.
Right, right.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
see-
Not
you
bad
looked
to
at it,
have
it looks
one to
okay, it looks
choose
okay to
from.
you?
Yes, it's a good
Good. Excellent,
Yeah.
Okay.
all right.
Anything else?
I pretty much did the school street.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, so we pretty much got the schools.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, yeah, that all looks good. Miscellaneous new business, anyone? I'm not sure if this was exactly the right time to say it, but I did have some correspondence with Carol Sanders, Sawsville, who was a member of our committee for a while now. She did give me her letter of resignation.
Okay.
So she is no longer capable of attending these meetings regularly, and she feels it's not respectful for us as a group if she can't be here consistently. And she's dealing with, medical life issues, whatnot, and she's just focusing on her life and herself, and I think that's important. And
Okay.
so, but she did say that if the time is right and she's feeling up to it, she would absolutely love
Love
to
to
join
have her
us
back.
again.
Love to have her
And
back.
she really appreciates and enjoys the time she spent here with us and feels like that this group makes a difference, and she was happy to be a part of it, so. Okay, if there's nothing else, let's set a time for a new next meeting. All right, we're looking at September
25.
25th. Okay. I am wide open that day, so I'm good. If you guys are okay with September 25th at 4 p.m.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Right
Yep,
here?
it's
Okay.
fine.
Okay, September 25th, 4 p.m. Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Rich Ihacker, aye.
Oh, Steve Crystal, aye.
James McCann, aye.
Jeremy Olson, aye. The meeting is adjourned.
Recording stopped.